Elescka and Gladys, you are still not where you need to be with your assessment, and I feel like you are not understanding a couple of really primary things. So I'm going to try to go over this with you a little bit and see if I can't leave you some information and some notes. So, all right, here's your worksheet. Let's just take the first row across. The audience is yourself, your organization, Phoenix Home-Based Hearts, and the question is, what is it that the organization needs to know? The first thing I want to point out to you is that this is not a document about the kind of research you needed to do your work that you would need beforehand, but this is an assessment document. An assessment document looks at how well you did your work, past tense. So even though you may need to know the number of immigrants that you need to serve, that is part of your research you would do before you start your organization. And I would point out to you that you don't really need to know the number of immigrants in America. You probably only need to know the number of immigrants that you think you might be able to serve in the community where you are. So even if you were looking for the number of immigrants, you would probably not be looking at the number in America. You would be looking for how many are in Phoenix, or maybe you're going to be in Glendale or Yuma or Globe or wherever, but that would be the number. So one idea would be not how many are there to serve, because this is a looking backwards assessment, but did you hit the number that you planned for? So, for example, perhaps you thought that for your first year you would assist 50 immigrants. Now you want to know, did you hit 50 immigrants? And I'm just making this up as I go. Okay, so that information that you need to collect is you need to collect a number of actual immigrants you served. Okay, and then your second question there about what information you need to collect is what type of assistance do most immigrants seek? Again, finding out what type of immigrants they seek is something you had to do before you started your organization. It's not assessment. So maybe instead of what type of assistance do immigrants need, you might want to ask, how satisfied were immigrants with the assistance that they received? And because you are offering multiple kinds of assistance, some of which you're offering yourself and some of which have to do with referrals, you might want to then subdivide that into the types of assistance that your organization itself provided, and also how satisfied were they with the referrals to the other organizations and the help that they got there. So that would be the kind of information you wanted to collect. Now, I think we can take a look now at how are we going to collect that data. So keeping track of how many people we are assisting each month will in fact give you the information you need for the first thing, the number of immigrants who need our help in Globe or wherever. Did we serve 50 people? Okay, so but what about the second? Did they get the assistance that they needed? Okay, so it doesn't help us to have employees who specialize in business analytics. What you're going to need to do is you're going to have to know from the from your intake form or whatever what kind of help they were seeking, and then you have to go to them and to their providers and find out what kind of help they got. And that's going to be kind of a two-pronged deal. So on the one hand, you're going to want to know if somebody was looking for a job, did they get a job? On the other hand, you're going to want to go talk to the person and find out, is your job a good fit? Are you likely to stay in that job? Do you still have that job? So you're going to want to have like some kind of an interview or a survey with the person to find out, because it's not just enough that they get a job. What they really need to settle into the country is a good job that's a good fit for them, that pays a living wage, and that keeps them from struggling for money, right? So the fact that they got a job is just one indicator, and you can check on that, but then you need to go to them directly and ask them the quality of life questions that you need. All right, So I am going to kind of type this up for you, and I'm going to leave it at the beginning of an email so that you can see where I went with this. And then that's what you're going to need to do for the rest of this.